Hi, this is Don McAllister, and welcome to another ScreenCastsOnline weekly tip video. Continuing on with our occasional look at iTunes, here are some tips to help you get the most out of this sometimes confusing app. Now in this tip video, I'm going to concentrate mainly on the different views that are available to you. I found that, to be honest, the standard iTunes views are a little sparse, not very information dense, and I prefer to have more information on screen when I'm actually looking at and managing my music. Now by default, the various sections of iTunes, I'm currently looking at music, and I'll stick to music for this particular tip. You can get to the various sections by clicking on this drop-down menu, so you've got artist, albums, songs, genres, your playlists, and your smart playlists here as well. Sometimes it's actually easier, or I prefer, to have the sidebar switched on. So if we go to View and Show Sidebar, you can actually get your various sections in the sidebar permanently. You go in here, you can switch off various sections or add in composers, compilations, and videos. We'll just say done to that. You can also hide your music playlists, both the Apple ones and your standard ones, your smart playlists. So sidebar is sometimes a good thing, although it can interfere with other views as well. If we actually go to artists, now this is slightly better in that we have our artists in this middle column now that we have the sidebar, and then the various albums for each artist in this panel. But again, still not very information dense. If we go to albums, we get a different view. So we get the album artwork, we get the track listing down the side. But again, not very information dense and quite difficult to navigate. Now my favorite view is the songs view. So if we go to songs, let's pop the sidebar out of the way actually for now. If we view and hide sidebar. So I've got my long list of all my tracks in my library. But in the song view, I've got access to the column browser. So if I say show column browser, this gives me this browser panel at the top with my genres, my artists, and my albums. You can actually change the height of your column browser. And you can also configure the different columns that appear, but more about that in a short while. If we have a look here, I can filter all my songs by pop genre, by rock, or by soundtracks. And then if I want to sort of drill into a particular artist, I can actually find the artist in this list, click on the artist, and see the albums available to me in this end column. Now, of course, this is my demo collection, so I haven't got very many in here, but here we go, Thin Lizzy, Johnny the Fox, and the very best of Thin Lizzy. So if I just wanted the one album, I can click on that and see that one album down here in the results of my column browsing. Now, the column browser itself is configurable. If I go to View, Column Browser, you can switch on both composers and also this thing here, Groupings. Now, this can be quite interesting. If I go to Groupings, you'll see we get this fourth column here. Now, I haven't assigned any groupings to any of my tracks, but groupings is sort of like a free-form field that you can use to assign your own information. And a lot of people actually use this for subgenres. So rather than sort of struggling with hundreds and hundreds of rock tracks, what you could actually do is to apply a grouping and have a subgenre here. So for instance, if I wanted, let's say, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and let's see, one other progressive rock act, say Ronnie Stolt, if I hit Command and select. So I've got all these tracks down here from Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Ronnie Stolt. If I select this, Command A to select them all, and then Control or right click and say Get Info. So for grouping, I'll actually change this to progressive rock. We'll say OK. Right, you can now see here under grouping, if I wanted to, if I'm in pop, then I'm in rock, I want to see just my progressive rock tracks, click on here, and that filters it by those two artists. So groupings can be a very powerful way of organizing your music library and then using the groupings as a basis for smart playlists, etc. If you want to learn more about using your Apple devices, there are over 700 full video tutorials available to ScreenCastsOnline members, covering all aspects of the Mac, iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, and even the Apple TV. Now, all full members receive a new Apple-related video tutorial each and every week, as well as a free subscription to the ScreenCastsOnline monthly magazine, packed with videos and articles on getting the most out of your Apple devices. Now, you can get your free 14-day trial membership over at ScreenCastsOnline.com, or check out some of the free content over on the SCO Showcase app on the iPad, iPhone, and Apple TV. That's it for this week. I'll be back next week with another tip, so I'll speak to you then.